My beloved, lean in closer. You have mistaken the silence for distance. You have interpreted the lack of noise as a lack of presence. But I must correct your vision, not with rebuke, but with revelation. What you called silence was, in truth, sacred strategy. I wasn't ignoring you. I was intricately, obsessively involved in every breathless moment you endured. I wasn't absent. I was active, beneath the surface, behind the scenes, and beyond your senses. While you stared into the empty space and begged for a sound, I was crafting the kind of beauty that takes time to form. Not because I am slow, but because what I was preparing is holy. Precious things do not arrive in a rush. Diamonds form under crushing pressure. Masterpieces require layers of paint and patience. And the kind of glory I have been designing for your life could not be packaged in noise. So I wrapped it in silence. The pause was not punishment. It was precision. I know what the delay felt like. I watched as you paced the floor with unanswered questions burning on your tongue. I heard the echo of your cries bouncing off walls others never saw. I saw the flickering candle of your faith, how you fought to keep it alive when the winds of your circumstance tried to suffocate it. You felt like you were being punished, but child, you were being positioned. You weren't being forgotten. You were being framed for something divine. The silence was not a void. It was a vault where I was preserving your breakthrough until the precise hour of revelation. Sometimes I must quiet the world around you so you will finally recognize the distinct timbre of my whisper. Sometimes I must withhold the visible so you will learn to trust the invisible. And while you waited, while you wept, while you wonder if I had lost your address, I was weaving threads of destiny into a tapestry too detailed for your now to comprehend. Child, I was not withholding beauty. Music, I was building it. And know what I've been forming in the silence. The beauty I've designed does not merely decorate your story. It defines it. It will not just be seen. It will be felt, like the warmth of sunrise after a freezing storm, like music after morning, like rivers bursting through ruins. The very areas where you felt most barren are now pregnant with promise. I have been restoring what was lost, reclaiming what was stolen, and redeeming what was wasted. And I did it in silence so that no voice but mine could take the credit when it finally blooms. This beauty I'm bringing forth is not surface deep. It is soul deep. It has the grit of your groaning and the grace of my glory. It heals in layers, not just symptoms. And when it unfolds, when it breaks through the soil of your life, it will silence every accusation that ever told you I wasn't coming. So don't curse the quiet. Don't resent the hush. What you call delay, I call divine detail. I haven't just been preparing the gift. I've been preparing you to carry it. Because the beauty I'm releasing isn't something you'll visit. It's something you'll live in. It's not a temporary glimpse. It's an atmosphere, a permanent residence in my presence. And now that the foundation has been forged and your spirit has matured under the mystery, the unveiling begins. Watch now, beloved, what was silent is about to sing. And the beauty you thought would never come, it is already here, breathing, blooming, breaking through. The heaviness you felt wasn't punishment. It was the weight of glory about to be revealed in your story. Let me speak now to the burden you've been carrying, that invisible weight that pressed against your chest in the middle of the night, the pressure that sat on your shoulders like a heavy cloak of questions you couldn't shake off. You've asked me 1,000 times, why does it feel so heavy, Lord? Why is this battle so hard? And here's my answer, child, because you were never carrying pain. You were carrying purpose. The weight was not evidence of rejection. It was a signal of coming revelation. The heaviness was not your sentence. It was your signal. You have been hosting glory in gestation. And when glory grows, so does the gravity of it. You were never meant to be crushed by it, but you were always meant to be changed by it. You see, my glory is not weightless. It is wondrous, dense with power and holiness. And I placed it upon you, not to break you, but to bless you, to shape you, to set you apart from the crowd. You felt the pressing because I was imprinting heaven onto your soul. You felt the ache because I was expanding your heart to hold more of me. And while others dance in ease and shallow waters, Music, you wrestled in the depths because I trust you with the deep things. You didn't ask for this weight, but you carried it anyway. And now you hear me with holy urgency. I am about to reveal the reason for every ounce of it. The heaviness was never for humiliation. It was for habitation. I was making room in you for something eternal, for glory that cannot be measured by man, for oil that only flows from crushed olives, for wine that only comes from pressed grapes. You, my beloved, have been the vineyard of my hidden work. And now the weight is shifting, not because I'm removing my presence, but because I'm releasing my promise. The glory that once pressed down is now rising up. The burden that once silenced your laughter is being lifted by the breath of joy. I am turning the gravity of grief into a garment of praise. I am transforming what felt like punishment into pure, radiant purpose. The story that once dragged you down will now make you dance. The wounds that once ached will now witness to my power. The nights you wept in silence will become altars of public testimony. The weight was not random. It was revelation. And now, child, you will not just be free from it. You will testify through it. Let me say it plainly. Music, what you carried in secret, will be crowned in public. Those who watch you wobble beneath invisible heaviness will stand in stunned silence when they see what you've been carrying all along. They thought you were weak, but you were hosting glory. They thought you were breaking, but I was building. And now I place my hand upon your back, not to press you further, but to propel you forward. The weight of glory is no longer a mystery to you. It is now your mantle. You have stewarded in silence. Now wear it in boldness. For what I am doing through you next, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, but all of heaven is watching, and all of earth will witness. You walk through disappointment with dignity, and I watch this quiet obedience summon heaven's intervention. My precious one, listen closely. Your pain was never silent to me. It echoed in eternity. The way you walked through disappointment, not with bitterness, not with blame, not with loud accusations, but with quiet dignity, stirred something in the heavens that even angels reverenced. I watched you wipe your tears and still hold on to hope. I saw how you stood still when others sprinted past in celebration. I took note when you didn't retaliate, didn't fold, didn't collapse into despair, even when you felt the cold steel of betrayal on your back and a hollow ache of unanswered prayers in your chest. What others dismissed as weakness, music, I recorded as worship. You honored me not with fanfare, not with performance, but with your posture. You bowed when you didn't understand. You praised when you could have pouted. You stayed when you could have strayed. And now, hear me. That kind of obedience doesn't just get noticed. It gets answered. You didn't just endure the disappointment. You stewarded it. You didn't treat it like punishment. You treated it like a strange, painful purpose. And because of that, the heavens are now shifting. Do you hear the sound? It's the sound of intervention, divine interference, holy disruption. I am stepping in, not to sympathize, but to shift. This isn't pity. This is power. I've seen enough. I've waited long enough. I've gathered your tears like rare treasures. I felt every cry. And now I'm releasing what your dignity has invited. You see, child, when you chose restraint instead of revenge, you aligned yourself with my character. When you forgave what you didn't fully understand, you reflected my son. And now that reflection is drawing a reward. This is not a moment of random blessing. This is targeted intervention. You have heaven's full attention. Let me take you deeper. You needn't know why this moment carries so much weight, because in your stillness, you silence the lies of the accuser. When the enemy tried to make your disappointment a doorway for doubt, you shut the door with faith. You didn't always feel strong, but you chose truth anyway. And that decision, that unseen, daily decision to walk with me even through the valley of disappointment, has activated something rare. You've crossed into a realm where miracles don't come through declarations alone. They come through endurance. And because you endured, I am moving now. Doors that once slammed shut will swing open on hinges of grace. People who overlooked you will be sent back to bless you. Places that rejected you will request you, not because you sought attention, but because you stayed faithful in the fog. And this, beloved, is only the beginning. I will use your story to confound expectations. I will use your restraint to release restoration. I will use your quiet dignity to deliver loud miracles. The very situations that tried to humiliate you will become highways of honor. You walked with me when you could have walked away. And now I walk into your circumstance with power that changes everything. The heavens are not just observing. They are intervening. And this intervention has your name etched upon it. Not written in pencil, but carved in stone. What you thought was the end was actually the entry point. Welcome to divine reversal. What was meant to bury you will now bless you. Beloved child, I must say plainly, you are not forgotten, overlooked, or misplaced. You are being orchestrated. Heaven's hands have been arranging your steps with the intricacy of a grand symphony. You confuse stillness with stagnation. But what's truly happening is synchronization. You are not standing still. Music. You are standing in alignment. Divine positioning is not always visible, but it is always vital. While you question the delay, I've been crafting the divine display. You've been thinking, why am I being passed by? But you aren't being passed. You're being placed. Placed with purpose. Placed with strategy. Placed in a way that only I can design. Others rushed ahead. Yes. But rushing ahead is not the same as rising with revelation. You see, orchestration is slow because it's sacred. It requires timing, precision, patience. You've looked at others and said, but they started after me. Why are they further along? And I say to you now, because their call is not your call. Their pace is not your portion. Their journey is not your justice. What I'm doing to you is so layered, so weighty, so generational, that I had to take my time. I am not in a hurry when building a legacy. I do not rush the roots when I plan for eternal fruit. So yes, I held you back, not to hurt you, but to heighten you. I positioned you behind the curtain, because the unveiling I have planned must take place on a stage that no man can manipulate. And now the curtain begins to lift. Let me show you what's coming. Divine positioning will place you in conversations you never sought, opportunities you never chased, music, rooms you never knocked on, not because of your networking, but because of my nurturing. I've been nurturing your heart in the hidden place, and now I will reward it in public places. You won't have to force your way forward. You won't have to hustle for honor. I am the God who promotes. I am the one who pulls you from the shadows when the spotlight is sanctified. You will be requested, not because you advertised, but because you obeyed. You will be called forth, not because you competed, but because you trusted me in secret. This is not elevation by effort. It's placement by providence. So don't shrink back. Don't second-guess this. Don't disqualify yourself because the timeline hasn't matched your expectation. I'm not late. I'm layered. I've been orchestrating people, places, platforms, and preparation, and now the alignment is here. You'll look back and realize nothing was wasted. Not the no's, not the waiting, not the lonely nights. Every step, even the missteps, were routed by my mercy. You weren't overlooked. You were overlaid with my fingerprints. I marked your steps. I mapped your route. And now you will walk into places where others strived and failed. Not because you're better, but because you were positioned, and my positioning never misses. Welcome to the hour of divine orchestration. What's about to happen will not require explanation. It will speak with the authority of fulfillment. Listen, child. What's about to unfold in your life will not come with a warning label or a need for validation. It will not need you to explain, defend, or justify. It will speak for itself. What I'm releasing now will carry the sound of heaven's signature, undeniable, unshakable, unexplainable. You won't have to find the words. The wonder will do the talking. The change will be so visible, the evidence so vivid, that the ones who once doubted you will fall silent in reverence. This is not a whisper of progress. This is a roar of fulfillment. I am stepping into your narrative not with hints, but with holy headlines. You won't be able to hide what I'm about to do, not because of pride, but because of prominence. When I fulfill loud. You've lived seasons where you had to defend your hope, where you had to explain why you still believe when the situation screamed otherwise. You've tried to tell others what I promised you, only to be met with blank stares or subtle scoffing. But I tell you now, I am answering you in a way that will require no more explanation. My movement will prove my word. My glory will settle every question. You won't have to open your mouth. Your life will become the message. The doors I open will be so precise, so purposeful, that people will ask, how? And they'll hear me say, because I said so. No boardroom will take credit. No mentor will be mistaken for the miracle. I am cutting the strings of human validation and lifting you with the wind of divine fulfillment. And yes, there will be those who are confused by your acceleration because they did not see the secret surrender, the soil of obedience, the quiet sacrifices. But I did. I saw it all, and I wrapped your reward in the wrapping paper of wonder. I'm bypassing logic to demonstrate love. I'm skipping the expected to release the extraordinary. The platform I'm building under your feet will not be made of popularity. It will be built on promise. You won't walk into this blessing with an explanation. You'll walk in with awe, and the awe will carry authority. No one will be able to deny that the shift was divine, the movement was mine, music, and the door was heavenly. So rest your tongue, child. You don't have to craft a defense or write a speech. Let me handle the announcement. Let the result reveal the reason. What I'm doing won't need captions. It won't need hashtags. It will be wrapped in such unmistakable timing, such divine precision, that even your enemies will be forced to say, "This was God." Not because you fought for recognition, but because you lived in reverence. The fulfillment is on its way, and its voice will thunder through your life like a verdict from heaven. Case closed. Promise fulfilled. Glory revealed. You've just heard the truth, child, that I positioned good news with your name already on it. But now I ask you to not only receive, but to release. Just as I am pouring my words into you, I now invite you to become a vessel of fire for others. This is a spiritual law of the kingdom. The flow must continue. When you sow into this ministry, through Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link provided, you're not just giving money. You're igniting a harvest. You are planting a seed in the very soil that has fed you. My word says, give and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I don't lie. You are helping carry my light into the homes of those sitting in silence, on the edge of giving up, just as you were. This is your moment to sow into the rivers of revival. Obey now. Don't delay. If I have touched your heart, if I have spoken to your spirit, respond with seed of faith. Click below and give as I lead, and watch me multiply it in ways you never expected. The cycle of blessing begins with the act of giving.